Climate change is an extremely serious issue. The thing is, though, I have no idea why. If you take it seriously for 1 minute, you have to question your mentality. Because it is a sort of a lunacy to be worried about. You're a bloke, right? A bloke with testicles, all that genitalia and all the hairy chestedness. Sit there in your bedroom tweeting that you're afraid to go out because the weather might change. It's a bit sort of a naff, isn't it? All them blokes kind of like ladies in a harem, if you like. It's sort of had all the you're new nogs because they no longer are men on their own as individuals. They're in a sort of a collective, all saying the same thing, whatever comes through on the tweet. Ooh, climate is changing, we all must live in fear of it. Because we're not really men at all, are we? Living in fear of things. You couldn't send on a voyage round the world with Captain Cook exploring the world if such fearful little creatures, or a couple down below the deck for sailors' pleasures might be handy. But the thing about climate change, which is sort of funny, and it's not, is that Pakistan is suddenly thought, well, hang on a minute, everyone wants these wind generators. We need some money. So what Pakistan's doing is just getting into taking advantage of its coal deposits, going to make some coal-fired power stations, small steel mills, to start making windmills in Pakistan and wind turbines, so that it can export them to places like Australia. That's trying to reduce the amount of coal it uses. And it's like, we don't understand that to make more windmills, we have to burn more coal. So no one's really asked the question, because you're making more windmills, you're burning more coal to make more windmills to stop climate change, because coal causes climate change. Coal causes climate change, so you burn a lot more coal to make a lot more windmills to stop climate changing. The question is, how much coal do you have to burn to make the windmills to stop climate changing? That's the question. How many windmills does the planet wind turbines would the planet require overall to supply the power to Dubai or to Shanghai or to Beijing or London and those places just with wind generators, so the lights stayed on all the time, 24 hours a day if they required them, lifts, trains, storage, all that sort of stuff. How many wind generators would you need? You can't use sun at night time, so count that out. How many wind generators would you need to run the world's power systems and all that sort of stuff? And how much coal would that require? And how much CO2 would that emit? And now, when does it get to the point where you've made enough windmills to switch the coal industry off, and then, well, after that you've already accelerated your global warming because you've made that many windmills, selling it to the dickheads who want these windmills, that people like Pakistan are getting again the coal big time, and other places in India, because we can make lots of money burning coal, making windmills for people who want to reduce the use of coal. Yes, we're going to burn coal because to make things that reduce the need for coal. It makes sense when you think about it for 2 or 3 minutes. And it just shows you the real geniuses behind this climate change panic. All these men panicking about climate change. Now, if what climate's change, if no one had ever mentioned climate change, from a philosophical point, if no one had ever mentioned climate change, well, we'd just be getting on with our lives and no one would have bothered about it. Which ones just, oh, well, we'll get on. And then if a big wave comes up to the sea or an earthquake happens or whatever it happens, and some natural thing happens, we just handle it and deal with it and get on with our lives afterwards and adapt to the situation. That's all that humans have ever done. You have to try and adapt to a situation that you don't know what the outcome is before it happens. It's prescriptive and it's not natural. It's saying you must act like this now because sometime in the future it might be like that then, but they don't actually know what it's going to be like. And the fact that they're saying you're going to have to burn a lot more coal to make a lot more wind generators, because we need wind generators, so we need wind generators to stop burning coal. Well, hang on a minute. Well, what's the size of Africa? How many people live in Africa? 5 times the size of Australia, Sahara, so we'll say 4 times the size of Australia, a bit less. But a billion people. How many wind generators support all them with cooking, to cook their stock dinners and everything, light their lights, put the televisions and fridges on? How many wind generators? Billions. It would take billions. How many tons of coal would that put? CO2 would that put into the air? Make all the wind generators. So, in the end, you make so many wind generators trying to stop climate change. You actually cause the problem you said in the first place that you imagined there was. By creating so much CO2 in the air, just making windmills and solar panels. Because you can't make these things without thermal units, without processing the minerals and the ores. And as yet, there are no ships that can drive across the sea with solar panels, with all that tons of ore on them. Yes, there's sort of a few people dreaming about that sort of stuff, but it's a long time it's going to happen. A few people say you can make steel without coal, but yes, it's an experiment, but the billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars it would take to convert all the steel mills in the world to this high-fangled idea that only that, what sort of steel do you get with it? We've got a gas-fired steel to make steel. How do you get that? To get the carbon out of the gas, fine, but what about everything else? What to do with steel is just a little bit more than just carbon. So yes, you can, in theory, make steel without coal, but and maybe there's a few small refineries doing that, but I doubt if it's going to be on a big scale because people have already got the blast furnaces already there in place, and I doubt if they're going to replace them overnight to suit a bunch of greenies in Australia, America, and UK, or wherever these idiots live. Because these idiots, and they are idiots, let's face it, anyone who says we want more windmills to replace coal is obviously ignoring the fact you need coal to make them. The more windmills you have, the more coal you have. I keep repeating myself because it's just how stupid it all is. The more windmills you have, well, the more coal you must burn to make the windmills. And that's why Pakistan has said we're going to open up a big billion-ton coal deposit, because we're going to start making power stations, because it's going to get a Silk Road from China. They're going to start making things in Pakistan because they want the business and they want the employment. They want to grow their economy, so the Chinese are getting it's very expensive for China to make these things, so we'll make them in Pakistan. Why not? The Pakistanis want the money. Pakistanis want the money. They want the economy to grow, and good on them. By God, they're entitled to do so. And if it means using coal because their belief, so it's down to God because they're Muslims, well, that's their belief, and who can argue with them? We can't argue with people's beliefs, so you can't argue with people, climate fanatics, and Al Gore about his belief because they're going like rabbits. And Muslims, you can't disagree with their belief because they get rather upset as well. So best thing to do with people's beliefs is leave them alone, let them get on with it. Just so the Pakistani actually more sensible than the climate change fanatics, because the Pakistani can make money out of it. Well, the climate change fanatics and the West are losing money out of it. It's all rather insane when you think about it. And that's what it is. Climate change has sent a lot of men, women. I'm not going to talk about women. Not sexist. I'm not sexist, but when men, young men, and they're all taking Viagra now because climate change is emasculated. They're living in fear. Oh, the fear of the climate changing. Oh, since you're a little kid is as emasculating, so their testicles, their penis doesn't grow very big, and that's why they get to 22, 23. They're needing Viagra now because they're living in perpetual fear of something that may never happen. The weather. Oh, the weather. We're all going to die because of the weather. Oh, we're all going to be terrible because of the weather. Well, so there's weather happening everywhere in the world. People live in different climates and still get on with their life, and they have sex and enjoy themselves and make kids and have babies, listen to music in the hottest climates, in the coldest climates, and just get on with it. Jungles, deserts, semi-arid deserts, wherever the zones are, over the mountains, they're all getting on with it. It's only in certain places who've got the luxury on the time and the money to worry about something that no one can do anything about, and that is human nature wanting and desiring to better itself and have a better economy, like the West has got. How are you going to stop that? How are you going to stop that? Pakistan wanted to cut coal to cash in on those people who want to reduce the use of it. It's called, you create a vacuum and someone will come and fill it. And you take the energy out of something and someone will come and just say, okay, you allow a greater force, a greater will of energy in because you've got weak. Because you've got weak and surviving, other people will take advantage of it. That's all it is to it. Bye. Climate change. The greatest joke on humanity there's ever been.